Okay, we change that. It's not the third sprint. We haven't even gotten to the first one yet. Hello, welcome from a rainy day in Georgia. It's very good napping / sleeping weather, um, but we have work to do, so that's what we need to do. Also, last night, one of our like sockets plugs in the hall bath um, decided to give it up. So I heard a really loud, weird noise and sort of smelled some burned hair in the room. And the nightlight no longer works in that socket, um, which is what my dad discovered this morning. I didn't notice it last night because I was just like, I turned the main light on and I was like, is there anything burning in here? No. Anyway, it's fine. We just have to replace the socket, I guess. We checked the breaker, all that good stuff. A mama dawdler is doing well. We're just sort of, putting her back into bed and letting her nap and getting her up for food and medicine and a little walk around every once in a while. And she's doing good. She's doing good. So, how are y'all doing? Hopefully, you're doing well. Also, I'm trying out the mango flavor of the aloe drink. I like the aloe drink normally, but I sometimes have to be careful because sometimes they come with fake sugars. So this particular one is from Aldi and has cane sugar rather than fake sugar, which is perfectly fine with me. So I decided to try the mango this time, and it's tasty. I like it. So if you like mango and you like the aloe drinks, give this a shot. Not sponsored. I don't know that anybody gets sponsored by Aldi. I don't think I've seen any Aldi sponsorships on the internet. I know that they do like sort of, well, my guess is they do affiliate marketing because I've seen lots of like blogs dedicated to Aldi things. But I suspect that that they are a big enough business that they do not need to do social media marketing in terms of like influencers sponsorships. Anyway, which kind of leads into today's poll. Today's poll is about like a collective word. What would you call a group of influencers? Think like Murder of Crows for a group of crows, School of Fish, Parliament of Owls, that kind of thing. So I kind of like I picked a couple that I could think of, but I'm sure there's better ones. So I picked as options Selfie of Creators, a Chaos of Creators, an Annoyance of Influencers, or a Hypnotism of Influencers, because they're kind of supposed to hypnotize you and brainwash you. Anyway, that was my reasoning behind that one. So yeah, so pick your favorite or put one in the chat as Kara has, because Kara has clusterfuck of clowns. Not the least bit sorry about it. Nice. Diane is on FaceTime with granddaughter. Excellent. Say hello to granddaughter. Is this the granddaughter who the car crashed into their house? Hopefully everything is. No, that was your daughter. My brain is good. Anyway. Hopefully everybody's good. Macaroni Magpie, hello. Struggling to focus. Yep, same. Keep wandering off into the wilds of the internet instead of getting writing done. Oh no. Do you have the Forest app for your browser? Would that help? Somewhere I've got my Forest app. It's kind of gotten buried at the moment, but I do have it for my browser as well as for my phone. Megan, hello. Welcome. How are you? How are you doing? Are you free this week or just this weekend? Are you just finally not buried by homework anymore? Hope your mom is doing well. Thank you very much. Yes, she's doing well. She's still tired, like really tired after the gallbladder removal and having the drain and being in the hospital for a couple days. She's still tired, but she's good. So. Maz says, hello. Not here for long. You're going out soon. We are glad you came with whatever time you're here. Stacy says, oops, I was a little late. It's okay. It's the Dawdling Writer Channel. Come on in whenever. I'm very much not bothered by that during live streams. And I'm just like, come on in. It's fine. Whenever you want. Okay, yes, it's their house. Okay, great. Everyone is good. They got lucky. Yes. Yeah, I'm glad everybody's good. Do they have like a status update as to like, have they found a contractor? Have they started repairs? I'm hoping they at least have a big old blue tarp up to keep weather and critters out. Things like that. You have the Forest app on your phone. Yeah. You can also get like an extension for your browser. So, you might have a job next week. Yay! That's exciting. You're currently on summer vacation. Nice. I cross my fingers, knock on wood. Good vibes. It'd be great if you have a job next week. Fantastic. And here she's got, yeah. Well, and it was. We'll know more once we have the call with the trauma surgery team, which I think is going to be August 5th, which is, of course, a Wednesday. And the window of time in which they would call us would be during the streaming time. So I will probably not have a stream that day, just to make sure that I'm fully available for when they call. But yeah, so we'll know more about like the pathology, because it was just sort of like her gallbladder was in really, really rough shape, and had gangrene, and we had to put it in a drain, and she's gonna be here for a little bit longer. Essentially, it was very much like cut and dry. Like here's the information you need to know, like in this moment. But yeah, so we'll be able to know a little bit more once we talk to the trauma team, and mom can ask questions like how big her gallstone was, because I don't think the surgeon cared once he saw about her gallstones once he saw the condition of her gallbladder. So trauma, I don't think I said trauma surgery team, because it was the ER connected surgery team that did the job. So it's a great sounding job too, a marketing / copywriting position where you have full creative control. Ooh, it's really exciting. Good vibes for you. Good vibes all around. It'd be fantastic. Yes. So they took the drain out before we came home, which was fantastic, because I would have definitely been squeamish about it. And it would mean that we would probably have to have either in-home care come like once a day, or we would have to be like going back to the hospital to have it checked out. So the amount of fluid that drained lessened as mom stayed in the hospital, because her surgery was Saturday afternoon, early afternoon. And so they monitored while she was there Saturday evening all through Sunday and Monday morning, like how the output that she was having, and also watching the color of it, and it got less fluid and lighter colored as we went. So yeah, so they pulled it out, and oh my gosh, that tube was so freaking long. Like the clear tube was long enough, I would think, and then the fact that there was an additional length of opaque tube. It's just, I'm sure it's necessary for some reason. Like my dad suggested maybe they sort of like wrap it around, you know, other things to like make sure that the drain itself and the bulb don't fall out because of gravity. I don't know. Anyway, it seemed unnecessarily long when the nurse was pulling it out and then just kept pulling and pulling and pulling. Anyway, so yeah, the drain, we did not come home with the drain. I just have to change the bandage essentially every day. And sort of check on the incision, and make sure that it's doing properly, it's not infected, all that kind of good stuff. So yeah. Kara says, I'm crossing my finger about my gallbladder. The triglyceride lowering medicine that you take can apparently encourage gallstone formation. Ooh. You take apple cider vinegar tablets, which supposedly helps with that as well. Interesting. I will cross my fingers for your gallbladder as well. But yeah, that's, I will tell you that based on how mom is feeling now and based on my own recovery, it is better to have it scheduled before it becomes an emergency. But I understand that, like, sometimes healthcare and insurance and all that is just, that's preventative in terms of, or I should say cost prohibitive rather than preventative, whatever. Anyway, finances notwithstanding can be an issue. You still recall when they pulled your drain out? Sure. Yeah, I texted Bestie about this because she had 2 drains after her son was born. She had one on each side, and she did have to go home with them, and so she had to monitor them and make sure of their color and measure their output when the home health person wasn't there. So she had to walk around for a while, and then I did take her, I think, I'm trying to remember how many weeks it was after she initially came home, that she was able to go get the drains out and bring her son home the same day. So that was a great day for her. Apple cider vinegar does help with digestion, so at least there's that. Yes. Yeah. It wiggles a bit like a worm with the belly. Yeah. It was definitely a flexible tubing for sure. You avoid surgery if at all possible. Yeah. There's no trouble with your gallbladder at this point. You're just a hypochondriac. Gotcha. Well, I mean, it's good to be aware that it can do something for you, or it can cause other issues, so that you can kind of be on the lookout for that. But yeah. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, I still have not stitched together my blanket because I haven't gone back to Michael's and picked up another 2 skeins of yarn. I could order it, but I like to go and just like see it in person. So at some point I will make a trip like halfway across town, and that reminds me, when is I've got a podiatrist appointment. That'd be a good day to do it. What is that? The 3rd. That's not too far from me. No, it's just whether or not I'm too impatient to get this blanket done. So yeah. You're terrified of going under anesthesia. Gotcha. When your son had surgery 2 years ago, he was super chill about it. He said he thought of it as taking a good nap. You envy him being able to see it that way. Yeah, so my mom has had a couple of different reactions to anesthesia. When she was having my older brother, he was like a week late from his due date and hadn't come. When labor finally started, they went to the hospital, everything, and she just couldn't get him out. And so they had to do an emergency C-section, but then like she had a little bit of trouble waking up. But then other than that, I don't think she's had any trouble waking up from the anesthesia. And she does, depending on, like, I know the colonoscopy, not this most recent time, but the time before, she was like, oh, those are some good meds. Like, she didn't need her trigeminal neuralgia medicine for like a month afterwards. She's like, those are some great. She's like, I wish I could take some of this home. But yeah, so she just has, but yeah, she views it as a nap, or tries to. So, and she's good at taking naps. So Megan says, the blanket that you've been working on for 2 years, you might finish today. Yay! That's exciting. That's exciting. Finishing it. Yay. Matt says, oh, I understand that. You went without anesthesia for colonoscopy because you thought it was completely putting you under. It was a fascinating, if grim. Yeah, I would think so. I'm not sure I would want to be awake for that, though. Kara says, that was one time where I was begging to be put under. I had non-productive labor with contractions, like you were fully dilated, but it was only 3 centimeters. You had to have emergency C-section. Yeah. I think it was partly the problem that my brother was just big, like long. He was just really long for a baby. So yeah. What they use for colonoscopy is heavy sedation. General anesthesia is a different animal. I think they offered, I can't remember if they offered mom like general anesthesia, but I don't remember. It's all kind of been a blur. So it also meant you could catch the bus home, which is also important. Yes. Yeah, because we were trying to figure out logistics when my mom had gone. She went to the hospital via ambulance on Thursday because she thought it was her heart. And they checked her out and said it wasn't, so they sent her home. So if I had taken the ambulance with her, I'd have had to Uber home or something. And I was like, that seems like a pain in the butt. And I was also pretty sure, based on how much she was talking, it was probably not a heart attack. So I was like, I'm probably going to need to bring her home. So yeah, but that like you have to arrange for a ride home from the hospital. So yeah. But I guess for colonoscopy, they also like at the place my mom goes, they require a driver. So Stace says, I've never been scared of being put under, but when Karma had to be put under, you were a complete wreck. Yeah, she was 2.5 at the time. Yeah, I feel like it's different probably for, again, I'm not a parent. But I can imagine that it would be very different. Like knowing the risks for yourself and making that decision versus having to make that decision for your child. I imagine that would be a much more stressful situation. They told you in 2006-ish that it was putting under, but the 2021 you were definitely awake with anesthesia. Interesting. I wonder if they, in the last 6 years or so, because I can't remember if it was a 5-year or 3-year. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. Mom said the meds weren't as good this time. So, okay. I think that's. I may have to call them back. Kara says, I'll always opt for sedation if possible. It allows the patient to maintain their own airway rather than being intubated. Yeah, this is true. Anesthesia gives Megan so much anxiety, but you've learned that you can be prescribed a pill to take before surgery, and that makes it impossible to feel anxious. There you go. Yeah, when I had to have some polyps removed, and they prescribed some anti-anxiety pill. And I called and asked, I was like, can I just take my normal one? And she looked at it and like compared it. She's like, yeah, you can take your normal one. It's fine. I said, okay, great. So I did. Transport was a big factor. Rural Wales and 40-minute drive. So a taxi was expensive. You could have arranged a lift, but your friend was not a good driver. So you didn't necessarily trust him. Oh no. Oh no, you're definitely awake because you kept asking questions. The anesthesiologist put propofol through your IV lane when you were on your way to have a hysterectomy. No, hysteroscopy. There we go. You fully approved because your anxiety dissipated since you were having. Yeah. Stay says, yeah, because you had no clue how she was going to react. Yeah, and that was what scared you the most. She was having an MRI because of her age and the noise they pick it under. Oh, I didn't know that. But that makes sense. Because you don't want them to panic, because that is, from my understanding, a very loud machine, and like you can't have anybody else in there. So you have a paradoxical reaction to most oral anti-anxiety medications. Yeah. The benzo, whatever these are. Yeah. My brother did not do well with those. So when I was asking for anxiety medications for myself, I specifically asked for not this kind. So personally, you like being put under because needles scare you. Yeah, same. And it makes you less anxious when you know what is coming. Please just let me tap through it. Yeah. He drove the wrong way out of the motorway into oncoming traffic. Yikes. And he already crashed headfirst into a canal/lake. Yeah, maybe don't trust him for to be your chauffeur. Maybe not. Yeah, sorry, my brain was trying to skip ahead. The hysteroscopy reveals that it's lined with multitude of tiny fibroids, but since you're postmenopausal, they're no longer of any consequence. Yeah, nice bloke, just terrible. Gotcha. Okay, we need a cat and we need a card. And then I need to see if that was a voicemail that I need to pay attention to. Okay, we have the cats pulled. Card. Oops. There we go. We have the coyote, trust in divine detours. Oh, good, because I have a shiny new idea that popped up. And I need to write a little bit about it. Okay, it's number 16, in case you want to know. Okay, now I've got that ready. Here's our cat number 1 through 3. Next read. I want to trust you, but I don't. Here's 3 very wary kitties who might trust you a little bit more if you had some treats or food for them. And then we have How You Doing, which is very cute and very fluffy looking. Very cute kitties for today. And then we have the coyote. It's number 16, Trust in Divine Detours. So there is our coyote. Do you find that you are being led on a strange detour in your life right now? Does it seem like what appears to be the right next action and the right next choice, best situation, or fabulous relationship unexpectedly turns into the opposite, or just disappears into thin air as if you've been tricked? The coyote's trickster energy is designed to bring you into situations that teach you lessons that you have forgotten to learn. Perhaps you need a taste of failure before you experience success, a need to feel disappointment before you can truly appreciate the joy, love, and prosperity that is coming for you. Perhaps you are revisiting a pattern that you forgot wasn't in alignment with the life you intend to create. Being reminded that gratitude, not complacency, will keep you awake and aware of all that is available to you in this moment. The coyote reminds you to laugh about the unexpected twists, to develop humility and gratitude while releasing your attachments to the form of your desires. Even when you suddenly find yourself on a detour, wondering when you will get back on track to manifesting what you desire, remember that the Spirit has a plan and wants the best for you. Trust in divine order. The coyote is a divine helper. No matter what seems to go astray, things are exactly as they are supposed to be. Okay. Kara says, shoot, I have to restart the computer. Yep, I did that this morning myself. And Diane is going to be editing the video. Excellent. All right, I'm going to be working on some work in my journal and then typing out little bits of this shiny idea, parts of which are on my phone. So I may have to access my phone a couple times. But yeah, that's going to be where we start. We're going to use the flowers first. Make sure our volumes are all good. And share screen. Flowers, share, make it big. Okay. All right, let's do this. 1, make sure that you pull up your document, and if you have already done so, make sure you save. 2 is make sure you have something to hydrate with, and go ahead and take a sip. Cheers. Three is to straighten your spine, roll your shoulders back for that posture check. Make sure you're not slouching too much. And 4 is make sure if you need a break, take a break. Here we go, 30 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, if you hear big truck, that's our garbage people. How we doing? I am still working in the journal, but I have gotten a decent amount done. I've got a little bit more to go. But I have sort of caught up in terms of my jar of stars. I'm kind of annoyed at myself because, like, I started what I'm calling my 75 super soft. I had started it the 15th. Yeah, 15th, Wednesday the 15th. And Thursday the 16th was when Mom thought she was having a heart attack. And so, like, I had done one day, and then I had done one day, and then I was like, okay. So we're going to essentially have to ignore that first day and just kind of like pick a day to restart. And that way I can just use the tracker and it'll still be pertinent. Because I still do want to do the 75 soft. I just, life very much interrupted. So, yeah, but doing good. So I've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4. Gotten 4 sort of like 4 sections done in the journal. So we're good. Making progress. I also, the phone call that y'all might have heard before we entered the sprint was the voicemail that I needed. So the podiatrist that I had been seeing, essentially their system sent me a chat. It was like, hey, you still have some patient responsibility. I'm like, okay. It's not like a huge charge. It was like $32 or something. But they don't say what it's for. Like, I was pretty sure that it's copay or something, like my responsibility for one of the x-rays that they took back when I first saw them. Probably finally made its way through insurance, but like nothing that they sent me had any that on there. So I had called and left a message being like, hey, I'm perfectly willing to pay this. I just would like to know what it's for. And nowhere on your documentation does it say what it's for. So they called me back and they were like, yes, that's what it's. They're like, it looks like it's for the x-ray. It was this much, and then went through insurance, and this as much is your responsibility. I'm like, perfect. And so I paid it. But I was just like, well, I'd kind of like to know what it's for. You should probably put that documentation on the form. Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. Rachel says, as to the poll for today, you kind of separate creators versus influencers. I think typically I do too, because they do have kind of a different connotation, but they do, some of them sort of cross over, I feel like. So that's why I kind of put them in there. So also, hello, Rachel. And Maz is off. Goodbye. Happy writing to all. Thank you. We appreciate it. Kara says, all right, I'm back in the saddle. I was getting an error message when I was trying to do screen captures. Who can understand the ways of these glitchy machines that we can't live without? Yeah. I don't know. Mine is still doing the weird thing where like it occasionally forgets the internet and just like won't open stuff. And so then I have to reboot it and it's fine. I don't know. I still haven't figured that out. Rachel says I was supposed to be working on my fantasy, but we can, from that first phrase, we can tell you're not doing that. But you're being drawn into something else. You may have to switch gears. Do it. You might as well. The card for today's is the coyote. Trust in the divine detours. It's okay. And Megan finished the blanket. Yay! Minus the star motifs that you're adding, but the base is finished. Fantastic. Yay! Kara says, you have no word count base goals for me at this point. You're trying to overcome your obsession with word counts that led to self-shaming and burnout. The goal is getting back into finishing projects. I like that. I do. Mine are pretty Like I told myself they were super soft, and then I went back in and I made them even softer. So yeah. And I've got my like AM physical therapy and my PM physical therapy. Like I just need to make sure I do them twice a day, type of thing. So yeah. And I think I have my word count goal is like 1,000, which is not very ambitious for me, but again, super soft because I want to make sure I'm writing every day rather than but I also have this urge to be like, I want to take weekends off, but like I need to be in the practice of writing a lot more, like do more consistent. Because sometimes on the days that I don't stream, I don't necessarily write. Most of the times I do, but sometimes I don't. So I'm like, I need to be better about that. Half the incoming calls to customer service and healthcare could be avoided by simple transparency. Yeah. Like, and I'm pretty sure, like, I had a radiology bill that was like, you have an outstanding, $41 charge. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I already paid this $41. But I'm not 100% sure because, and this is also the thing, it's like I had two different ultrasounds. One was a regular ultrasound and the other one was like a special ultrasound. So I could have paid the $41 for one, and then they came back and they're like, you need to pay the $41 for the other one. So I just paid it. I just paid it. I was like, whatever. But I'm getting tired of like not knowing what these extra bits are. Stacy says, I didn't get any words, but my brother is leaving town tomorrow, so you need to go over later and find out how to take care of his dog. Is this same brother who is recovering from being run over? How's he? Is he doing okay? Has there been any progress on putting the criminal in jail? Has there been any progress on the brother having the revelation that he should not be involved in this with this person anymore? Kara says, I'm trying to write a little in one of my fiction projects every day. Yeah, this is my goal. Yeah. Because a lot of times I will have the intention to write in the fiction in one project, and then I get distracted and I do like the morning pages and I do a little bit for some nonfiction stuff, and then I never get around to the fiction piece. You don't have any trouble writing nonfiction, mostly your recovery journal, but you've had a terrible time finishing fiction projects. I would agree with this because finishing my projects is also a weak point for me. Stacy also has a problem with word counts, but now you have one. You have one, but it's one that if you write, you will make it so it's more motivational to just write. Gotcha. Yes, same brother. No. Okay, so the criminal was arrested for drug possession. Ooh, and this was a separate charge to running him over, I'm assuming. Interesting. Diane says, there have been changes on YouTube since you last used it regularly. Good that you have a tester video. Yes. Is this going to be your gallery video, your exhibition gallery? Kara says, I honestly think NaNoWriMo type writing goals screwed up your ability to enjoy your writing. Because there's so much pressure to just write more, not write better. Yeah. You're trying to treat recovery like physical therapy rather than beating yourself up. Agreed. Yes. I like this idea. Okay. Let's get to work. Let's get more words. Better words. Just some words. or anything else creative that you had on your list to do today, whatever it is that you're working on. Okay, so yes, the gallery exhibition is a walkthrough set to music. Nice. I like it. I'm excited. Stacy says she was not charged and will not be for hitting him with her car. Seems like she should be. But the drug-related charges are separate, and she's in custody because she skipped her court dates. Ooh. Well, maybe that will at least keep her contained. Hopefully your brother is recovering well, both physically and emotionally, mentally. And yeah. Don't like Nano because of the focus on quantity over quality. Yeah. The video is pretty basic and a good place to restart. I would agree. But also, yes, why wasn't she charged? Yeah, that seems like a pretty obvious charge that should happen. At least reckless driving. I mean, come on. Like, even if they didn't do like attempted murder or attempted manslaughter, because that's a little hard to prove, like they could at least whack her with, reckless driving. But all right, let's do this sprint. So 1, save your document. Also make sure that you do your self-promo during this sprint. 2 is make sure you have something to sip on if you haven't in a while. So cheers. 3 is straighten your spine. Roll your shoulders back for that posture check. Make sure you're not slouching too much. And 4 is make sure that if you need a break, take a break. Here we go, 30 minutes. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, how we doing? I'm trying to figure out. I think it's gonna be too dark. Okay, we'll just nix that. How we doing? I finished off my aloe mango drink. Have swapped to water. It tastes funny the first couple like sips after. Not gonna lie. But how we doing? I think I'm done with my journal for the moment. But as I was flipping through to like note some of the upcoming things, I was like, oh, we're gonna have to set up August soon because it's coming up soon already. At the end of next week, which is crazy. So, yeah, maybe I have less flyaways now. Funky is here. Hello, sliding in late. And either Funky or the ducks made Diane jump. Not entirely sure which one. I have a guess, but I'm not 100% sure. Stacy did not get any writing done, but you did pull up your document. You talked with your brother on the phone for a few minutes. Gotcha. And okay, yeah, she wasn't charged because when the cops talked to him at that time, he told them she didn't do it, and she just said she was trying to get away. And since he doesn't actually remember what happened, he cannot change what he told them at that night. Yeah, it seems a little weird that the cops are taking statements when somebody's just been run over. Like, seems a little weird. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so here's Funky. Hello, welcome. Funky says, I can be quite startling. Yes. Yes, yes. Okay. What else do we need? We need one more sprint. Yes. And that'll take us a little over the top of the hour. So if you have not answered the poll, with either the answers that I have provided as options or created your own and told us what they are in the comments, please make sure you do that. And then we need a timer. At some point, I may be able to get a little video of the bunny rabbit munching on the clover in the backyard, but I'm not 100% sure. All right, well, we have an ad. There we go. There we go. And I think I will do what I did last time, which was scroll this down to a 25, just so I'm not taking up your entire Friday afternoon. And it's going to see, there we go. Perfect. Perfect. Funky says that I'm going to at least brew some coffee. Excellent. Yes. 911 was called either accidentally or because of his defibrillator. And so they did not come because someone saw the accident and called. Gotcha. Okay. All right. 1, save your document. 2, make sure you take a sip. Cheers. 3, straighten your spine. Roll your shoulders back for that posture check. Make sure you're not slouching too much. And 4 is make sure if you need a break, take a break. Here we go. 25 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. That was the end of sprint number 3, right? Yeah, sprint number 3. I just forgot to change the banner. Sorry. Doing good. Got a little bit of editing done. Had to stand up and walk around for a minute. Do some additional little stretches for my back. Let's see. Laura is here. Hello. Welcome. Welcome. Okay, Diane is going to set the gallery exhibition walkthrough video to public in about an hour, so about the 4 o'clock mark, my time, because this was right at 3 o'clock. Kara has new book promos up at Reader's Roost, so check that out. Reader's Roost. I feel like I didn't enunciate that very well. Kara says, I'm about to go to the chronic pain Buddhist recovery meeting on Zoom. It's called MAT therapy, if anybody is interested. Nice. Thanks for the link. Laura is working on the final presentation for your class. Ooh. You're so close to being done, but you think you need a nap. You've been working overtime. Yeah. So I was like, ooh, you're almost done, but when is it due? And then Diane was also like, when is it due? We got 11 external deadline, right? So it's due tomorrow night at like 11:59 p.m. Slides are done. You just need to write the script and record, which is nice. That's not too bad. And you have, I don't know if you have work tonight or tomorrow, so you have a little bit of time. You have a little bit of wiggle room if you feel like you need the nap. So Diane is 62 and still deciding what you want to be when you grow up. I think we probably will be until we won't grow anymore. Yeah. The presentation is on the dark academia aesthetic that started on Tumblr, spread to other social media, and then to the real world. Okay, so this I think is a really interesting topic, but I'm also curious to know like what year that started versus what year Harry Potter came out. If Harry Potter influenced it or if it was some other things. Other visual influences that sort of kick-started that. Because it's like the academia part Harry Potter is related to. I'm not sure I would classify it as the dark academia aesthetic generally. And I feel like the Mummy, the Rachel Wiseman, what's her name? The librarian, Evie. Evie's outfit is more like light academia than dark academia. So I don't know if that influenced it. But yeah, so the class itself is information and media literacy. Ooh, interesting. Yeah. It's a library science course. Yes. Yeah, I figured from the information and media literature. Yeah. Diane says, lol, the hubby told me a bit ago I needed to be working in the studio. I proceeded to re-explain the importance of deadlines and pressure helping you to perform. Funky says you got some writing done for a gaming blog, but more importantly, got your coffee. Excellent. You have 100% in the class so far. Woohoo! And Laura's doing great. Excellent. Funky's excited to see Laura. Today and tomorrow are your weekend. Okay, so you have time. You have some time to work on it tomorrow if you feel like you need it, like either this evening and into tomorrow, before the deadline. So you have time. But that, because especially since you're a couple hours behind me in the day, so you could take a small nap and then come back and finish it today and have all of tomorrow for just whatever you desire. You'd have to look at your notes again, but the aesthetic started in 2014, 2015, you think. Okay. I feel like that's definitely after Harry Potter began to be a thing. It revived again, though, in 2020 when campuses were closed. Yeah, agreed. The class sounds interesting. It does. It does. Laura's excited to see Funky. Funky says, Laura, it's been a while. Good to see you. Yes. Yes, yes. Okay, so we've got our poll for the day. What are we going to call a group of influencers? So thinking of like Murder of Crows, School of Fish, Parliament of Owls, that kind of thing. 60% of us would name it an annoyance of influencers. 20% would say a selfie of creators, 10% chaos of creators, and 10% hypnotism of influencers. So definitely heavier on the annoyance of influencers. You've been working a ton. Good. I hope you're getting that paycheck. That'll help offset some of the cost of the school too. But yeah. Stacey says, I think the first Harry Potter movie came out in like 2005, give or take 3 years at the most. I feel like 2005 was when I graduated high school, and I feel like there were a couple. Were there 2 out by then? I know the books were coming out like fast and furious then. When was the first Harry Potter movie released? 2001. Okay. Third one was 2004. And the fourth one was 2005. Yeah, so okay, so up through like the Goblet of Fire would be 2005. Yeah. Yeah, so definitely a while after Harry Potter before the Dark Academia really started to come out a bit. So I'm wondering, so is part of your presentation sort of like the influences of it, or is it just the migration of the media from Tumblr to other social media? I guess from what you explained, it sounds more like the transfer of media and information rather than sort of like, yeah, migration mostly. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. The books were slow to come out, and 4 took forever because she was working on the movies. Yeah, yeah. Mostly the migration. Interesting. I still sounds like a fascinating presentation. So maybe you could put it on your YouTube after the fact. You don't have to, but it might be an interesting video to watch. All right. How algorithms influence what we see and interact with, making echo chambers, but also bringing people together in small communities. Yes. Yeah. All righty. I'm going to say save your document and make sure that you have a backup copy soon, because we are headed into the end of July, beginning of August next week. So if you tend to back up your projects monthly, next week is a good time to do so. And yeah, so don't forget to save, don't forget to stretch. Make sure you check out the AuthorTube and writing playlist spreadsheet to check out who is streaming this weekend, later today and this weekend, if you want some more sprints. And I will hopefully see y'all on Monday. All right. Thanks, y'all. Bye.